Welcome back to This Is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Commander Tough Rules and Cool Interactions, episode 187. Today's episode is going to take a look at something in the game called Indirect Phasing, and it's something that I've had to explain at my LGSs so many times, and every time I do explain it, I mention how I need to go ahead and make the video that talks about it. So here I am, finally actually making a video on it. I believe that this is one of those sorts of things that isn't really complex like layers or the steps to casting spells and activating abilities, but it is just something that a lot of people, a lot of players are just not aware of its existence, and so they just don't think that they're doing it wrong when they are, and they just don't think to even ask if they're handling it right. Anyhow, let's jump in before I start going off script a little too early in the video. Alright, so here's the scenario. You have cast your commander, and then opponent A puts a Darksteel mutation on it because they're mean and they don't want you to have fun. Then opponent B is still really scared of you and what you're doing, so they try to do a full strike against you with their whole board, and so you cast a Teferi's Protection to save yourself. It's well known that your commander will phase out with the rest of your permanents because of the Teferi's Protection, but what about that Darksteel mutation that is attached to it? Before I get to that, let's do a mini scenario on the side. You control your commander, and it also has some stuff on it like an aura and equipment, but these are things of yours. You own the aura, you own the equipment, and you're currently the controller of them both. So when your opponent tries to Swords to Plowshares it and exile it, you in response cast Reality Ripple, which is an instant that says target artifact, creature, or land phases out. And you're targeting your commander. So what happens here to the things that are attached to the creatures being phased out? Are these two scenarios the same? Or is there a difference in them because of the difference in controller of the things attached to the creature? The scenarios will have the same results. All the things attached to the creature being phased out will also phase out in both scenarios. And this is called Indirect Phasing, which is covered in CR 702.26G that says, when a permanent phases out, any auras, equipment, or fortifications attached to that permanent phase out at the same time. This alternate way of phasing out is known as phasing out indirectly. And then there's also a little bit more to that rule, but we'll get to that soon. So this means that the results will not be that the creature is phased out and then state-based actions check and the equipment and aura see that they're not attached any longer, so the aura goes to your graveyard. That's not what happens. They are phased out with it indirectly. So now the question is, how do they come back? We can see in CR 702.26A that during each player's untap step, before the active player untaps permanents, all phased out permanents that had phased out under that player's control phase in. So in that first scenario, the one in which you were the controller of the creature, but the opponent was the controller of the aura, does this mean that when we get to that opponent A's turn, they will get to their untap step and phase in all the permanents they control, including their Darksteel mutation, while your commander is still phased out as you haven't yet gotten to your next untap step where your stuff would phase in? Will their mutation just be sent to the graveyard as state-based actions are checked? This is where the rest of that indirect phasing part comes into play. The final part of CR 702.26G says that an aura, equipment, or fortification that phased out indirectly won't phase in by itself, but instead phases in along with the permanent it's attached to. So their Darksteel mutation will not phase in during their untap step despite it being phased out. This is something a little different than what usually happens, probably 95–99% of the time. If they were counting on having that Darksteel mutation for mana for their Sanctum Weaver or their Seraph Sanctum, again, they won't have it, and they're going to have to find some other way to make up that mana. And that's it. I hope that this one was one of the easier things to understand. Magic is full of these kind of things that, unlike layers and such that are just hyper complex, this is actually pretty simple, but again, until you know it, you don't know that you don't know it. So hopefully now you know it. I think that last part that I just said is even more confusing than the actual thing covered. But yeah, I guess off script a little bit. Again, this is just one of those things that I hope this is not too crazy, but there's just a lot of those kind of things that you just don't know that you don't know, and you don't even know to ask that you don't know. Yeah, we should not go off script. I should not go off script on this one. This one was a nice and short and sweet one, so let's keep it that way. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. I'm also just frazzled. We're going back off script. I just downloaded a Portal mod. For Portal 2. It's technically a mod for Portal 2 called Portal Reloaded. This is not sponsored or anything like that, but like, holy crap, if you guys have the Portal 2 on PC, you have to own the previous game. Highly recommend that game. It is mind warping, and my brain is so frazzled. If you guys saw how many errors I made, this is one of the shortest episodes I've done in a while, and yet I think I had more errors in it because my brain is so frazzled right now. My brain is just so exhausted. So highly recommend if you do like puzzle games and you're on PC and you've got Portal 2, it's sales going on right now. Go pick it up in the summer sale. If you don't have it, it's probably like $5. But yeah, highly recommend it. It messes with time. You have like a time portal that you throw in there, so there's like a third portal that you're having to think, and things that you do in the you can go into the future and grab a future cube and bring it into the past, but if you grab a past cube, then it'll screw up and delete the future. It's crazy stuff, mind-bending stuff. You guys are listening to Magic Rules videos, so I imagine you guys are fans of like puzzles and thinking and critical analyses and all that kind of. This is what happens when I go off script. So yeah, hope you guys where'd I leave? Anyhow, hope that's all I got to today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules and the crazy person talking in this channel's video with the text and with the words I'm speaking. Have a good one. Ta-ta. Oh my gosh. Should never go off script. I gotta stop doing it. I gotta stop going off script. You shouldn't do it. Especially not after playing that Portal game. That is, man, my brain is fried right now.